Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are going to be breaking down the age-old concept, the customer is always right. Is this true, or is this a bogus mumbo-jumbo saying that a lot of managers just thought of? It's true and false. I recall during my time working in places like Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, 7-Eleven, all of my managers would echo the same sentiment. Armani, the customer is always right. Do not argue back with them. My managers would say this so much that I would get somewhat scared of the customers. I thought most of these customers that were entering the place, they were just going to be giving me a hard time. Was this the case? No. As a matter of fact, most of the customers were very nice. Every now and then I would get one rude customer, but since I had the presupposition that the customer is always right, I would not personalize that one rude customer too much. I would just let them fade into the back burner. My coworkers who had that presupposition that the customer was not always right, they would see that one rude customer out of 50 nice customers, and they would just zone in on that rude customer. They would let that rude customer ruin their day. And once their day is ruined, they would take it out on the good customers. So in places like Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, I learned that it's smart to have that mental model that the customer is always right, because it allows you to see reality in a way more efficient way. So in jobs like this, yes, the customer is always right. By the time it was 2019, I started to work with this public speaking coach. And one day we were sitting down and he told me something that would change my life forever. He said, Armani, in consulting businesses, the customer is always wrong. What? What do you mean they're always wrong? Because I was just hearing what my managers from my old school jobs used to say, how they were always right. So I thought the customers were always going to be right. And here is the public speaking coach saying that the customer is always wrong. And then he gave his rationale. He said, these customers are coming to me for a service. If they knew all the answers, then they should have just resolved the issues on their own. But they couldn't. So they're coming to me. And every now and then, these customers, they have a lot of pride. And my job is to break down that pride. It's to help them learn that they don't know anything. Whatever they think the answer is, most likely it's wrong. And I know the right answer. And throughout our coaching sessions, I will give them the right answer. As he broke down what he was saying, it made a lot of sense to me. And I realized that's how he recruited me to be his mentee. He basically said, Armani, you're doing all this stuff wrong. You got to work with me and you'll learn the right way to do things. And I saw that made me want to learn from him. If I thought I had all the answers, then why work with a consultant or a coach? So the customer can always be right, but they can also be wrong as well. In jobs that require straight up deliverables where there's not much subjectivity, the customer is always right. For example, if I'm working in 7-Eleven and the customer asks me for a certain cigarette packet and I get him the wrong cigarette packet, this is something that can objectively be measured. He wanted one thing, I gave him the wrong thing. I am wrong in this scenario. They are right. Same with donuts. They want the donuts a certain way. They want French crullers, not the chocolate donuts. This is something, once again, that can objectively be proven. The more objectivity that there is, the more that we want to say the customer is always right. We don't want to make excuses or give context as to why they could possibly be wrong. We just want to say the customer is always right and we will make the right decisions that way. But for fields that require subjectivity, such as public speaking, This is where we don't always want the customer to be right. Any field that requires a lot of creativity, we want the creator to assume that they're always right. Lead with that assumption, and once they lead with that assumption, the creator will create better art. And the audience, if they like it, they will like it. If they don't, they could find some other creator to go to. With creative fields, the customer, for the most part, is wrong and the creator is right. For non-creative fields, the customer is always right and the business owner is typically wrong. This is the mental shortcut that has helped me throughout my career. So try to apply it in your career and see if it helps you out. If you enjoyed today's talk, drop that like for me right on below, and I will catch you next time.